The morning sun filtered through the grand windows of the Hall of Justice, casting long and golden shadows across the polished wooden benches. It was a day meant for clarity and the restoration of faith. Inside the courtroom, the air was filled with a quiet sense of anticipation. This was a place where stories of human lives intertwined, where misunderstandings were brought to light, and where the value of truth was held above all else. The honorable judge sat behind the high bench, a figure of wisdom and experience, possessing a face that had seen 1,000 stories and could discern the truth behind every word. The bailiff called the court to order, and the room became silent. This was the case of 3142, a matter involving two women who had once shared a deep and long-lasting friendship. On one side stood Sunny Sun, a woman of grace and dignity, 66 years of age, whose life had been shaped by her work in real estate and finance. On the other side stood Dana Gray, a woman of ambition and dreams, who sought to make a difference in her community through a charitable organization known as Alpha Recovery Life Systems. The judge began the proceedings with a voice that was both firm and kind. She looked at Miss Sun and acknowledged the nature of the dispute. Miss Sun alleged that she had provided a loan of $6,000 to Miss Gray to help her establish a bingo parlor for a charity, and that the money had never been returned. Miss Gray, however, maintained a different perspective. Her defense was rooted in the belief that the money was not a loan, but rather a generous charitable donation meant to support a noble cause. The judge turned her attention to Miss Gray, seeking to understand the nature of her work. Dana explained that she had been involved with the world of bingo since she was 18 years old. To her, bingo was more than just a game of chance. It was a community gathering, a place where people found joy and connection. In the state of California, such games were often tied to charitable organizations under the legal status known as a 501c3. Dana spoke of her family charity, a foundation that aimed to support various programs for those in need. As the conversation unfolded, the judge delved into the financial realities of the bingo parlor. Dana admitted that while she considered herself a volunteer, she received tips from the players, an amount that totaled approximately $25,000 annually. The judge, with her seasoned eyes, noted that the lines between personal income and charitable fundraising were sometimes blurred. She spoke of the importance of transparency, reminding everyone that a true charity exists to serve others, not as a source of personal gain. The story then shifted back to a meaningful brunch that took place on February 21st, in the year 2023. The two friends had met at a local cafe, a place filled with the comforting aroma of coffee and the gentle clinking of silverware. They sat together, sharing a meal and their hopes for the future. Miss Sun had ordered oatmeal with raisins and cinnamon, while Miss Gray chose scrambled eggs. It was a morning of friendship, where dreams were shared over warm cups of coffee. During this brunch, Dana spoke of her plans to open a new bingo parlor in Lake Forest. She described the cost of setting up the facility, mentioning the need for televisions and monitors to create a professional environment. Miss Sun, moved by their 20-year friendship and a desire to see her friend succeed, offered to help. She agreed to provide $5,000, which later became $6,000. In her heart, it was a gesture of support, a bridge to help a friend reach her goals. She believed that the money would be repaid once the business was flourishing. Miss Sun was not just a financial supporter. She was a devoted friend. She used her influence within the bingo community to bring players to the grand opening on April 16th. She stood by Dana's side, working as a volunteer from 11:30 in the morning until 6:30 in the evening, ensuring that every guest felt welcome and every detail was attended to. Her commitment was born of a genuine love for a friend and a belief in the cause they were supporting. However, as the months passed, the clarity of their agreement began to fade. Miss Gray pointed to the memo line on the check, which read bingo support, as evidence that the money was a donation. She believed that Sunny Wealth allowed her to be generous without the expectation of repayment. She even gave Sunny a gold bracelet as a token of their shared journey toward success, a gift meant to celebrate their partnership. The judge listened intently to both sides, her wisdom guiding her through the complexities of human emotion and financial transactions. She examined the bank records and noticed that the $6,000 had been deposited into a personal savings account rather than a dedicated charity account. She spoke eloquently about the nature of 501c3 organizations, explaining that much of every dollar often goes toward administrative costs. She reminded the court that true charity is a selfless act, one that requires careful management and an honest heart. In her final analysis, the judge recognized that Miss Sun was a businesswoman who understood the value of contracts and the importance of being repaid. She saw that the friendship, while deep, did not negate the financial responsibility of a loan. The judge concluded that the $6,000 was indeed a loan, intended to be paid back once the venture was successful. The judgment was awarded to the plaintiff, Sunny Sun, in the amount of $6,000. But the true value of the day was not found in the money recovered. It was found in the lessons of honesty, integrity, and the importance of clear communication. The judge encouraged everyone to be smart with their money, but even smarter with their hearts. Miss Sun walked out of the courtroom with a sense of peace and a renewed faith in the justice system. She was not bitter about the lost friendship. Instead, she felt a quiet strength in knowing that she had stood up for the truth. She would continue to play bingo, to enjoy the company of her community, and to live her life with the same grace and kindness she had always shown. Dana Gray also left with a lesson learned. Though the outcome was not what she had hoped for, she had been given an opportunity to reflect on the nature of her work and the importance of transparency in her charitable endeavors. The experience served as a reminder that true success is built on a foundation of honesty and mutual respect. The story of Sun versus Gray became a testament to the power of truth and the enduring value of human connection. It was a reminder that even in moments of conflict, there is an opportunity for growth and a chance to find common ground. As the sun set over the hills of Lake Forest, the memory of the day remained a gentle hum of inspiration for all who seek to live their lives with purpose and integrity. The world of bingo would continue. The players would return, and the lessons of the courtroom would linger as a guide for a more honest and compassionate future. The Hall of Justice grew quiet once more as the final echoes of the day faded away. The judge prepared for the next story, knowing that every case was a chapter in the great book of human experience. And in every chapter, there was a lesson to be learned, a value to be upheld, and a hope to be shared. Justice had been served, not just in the form of a legal decision, but in the restoration of clarity and the promotion of a more human and understanding world. Everyone was reminded that it is essential to be careful and smart with your money, but it is equally vital to be honest and kind in all your dealings with others. This was the true meaning of justice, and it was a message that would resonate long after the court was adjourned.